While the key goal of Uganda's national oil and gas policy of 2008 is to spend oil revenues wisely and ensure that oil, which is a finite resource, is transformed into an infinite resource for Uganda's social and economic development, a section of civil society actors is worried over the willingness of political actors to follow the law to the latter and use oil revenues to deliver Ugandans into prosperity.
From where this plant sprouts, as if to behold the beauty of the setting sun, marks the entry into the sacred oil city of Hoima. It's this region that secured Uganda a place as an established petroleum province with a volume of over 500 billion BCF of gas and at least 1.4 billion barrels of recoverable oil. Since the confirmation of the commercial oil deposits, Uganda instituted a sophisticated policy and regulatory framework to guide the utilization of revenues accruing from the oil and gas resource. Notably, the Public Finance Management Act of 2015 specified that the petroleum revenues were to be used strictly to finance infrastructure and development of projects. However, according to the recent reports from the Auditor General, there is no clear evidence that the disbursements from the Petroleum Fund are being utilized as stipulated by the law. Hence, in his 2020 report, the Auditor General recommended establishment of a fiscal rule to guide the appropriation of the Petroleum Fund, Section 4.3 of the National Oil and Gas Policy of 2008. This was completed last year with the publication of the 2021-2026 Charter for Fiscal Responsibility that, among others, provides for utilization of the petroleum revenues according to the Charter. A maximum of all revenues worth 0.8% of the preceding year's estimated non-oil GDP outturn shall be transferred to the Consolidated Fund for Budget Operations. The balance shall be transferred to the Petroleum Revenue Investment Reserve (PRIR) for investment in accordance with the Public Finance Management Act of 2015 as amended. Experts say that Uganda needs to follow a phased utilization of all revenues with four main areas of focus. These include strategic infrastructure like roads, railway and energy, human resource development, including education and health, scientific research, and industrialization and other activities to lower the cost of doing business. While expenditures in areas such as health, education or infrastructure are critical, striking the balance between investing in strategic national projects and satisfying the needs of communities can be a delicate act.
There we were not doing well, but I think the different organizations, the NGOs have come on board and we have had various trainings, maybe workshops or meetings. And whenever it is done, it has different stakeholders brought on board.
In the oil-rich parts of western Uganda, sleek new roads crisscross the landscape, a testimony to the large-scale infrastructure investments of strategic importance. But how much of this development percolates to the locals in this area? But most importantly, what does the oil money mean for them? We found the youths at this landing site lost in the beautiful game, locally known as Ludo. And only a few of them could tell us where the oil revenues should be channeled. A few meters away from where we stand is a community access road that is in a dire state. The residents in this place say that the oil money ought to touch where it hurts the most.
Prepare for us these roads. And also the same, it's not only here in Ronga, maybe when you are going to Butiaba, there is also a road going to Butiaba and it is disconnected.
Fred Lukumu, the LC5 chairperson of Bulisa district, calls for local involvement in decision-making on how to use the oil revenues, saying that most of the decisions are made at the top.
We as a district, our role are peripheral. And indeed, in some cases, to know exactly what is going on for the district is only after this has been passed to us by the oil companies.
Hoima City Mayor Brian Kaboyo is of the same mind and hopes that the oil revenues will be used to facilitate the much-needed change at the local level.
But I believe that Parliament will do a good job because it's within their mandate. They are the ones who appropriate these resources and they trickle down to us here.
Section 75 of the Public Finance Management Act of 2015 as amended provides for sharing of royalty revenues with local governments and cultural or traditional institutions named in the Government Gazette. But the law is vague about the precise sharing mechanism, as the Bulisa constituency MP explains.
Who monitors? Who knows? Because it's based on percentages. Who will know the percentage of revenue I've gotten from the oil to know that Bulisa local government will get this 1% or 2% of this?
As the commercial production date fast approaches, more clarity is needed on which local institutions are entitled to benefits, how these benefits will be accessed, and how local communities can share feedback on sharing of the oil pie. Hakim Wampamba, NBS, Live at 9.